can share about that mystery box. Anything you can drop tonight, anything you can give us in regards to that mystery box, you guys are holding tight.
I mean, it is a mystery. So, what do you think is going to happen? Like, what do
I think is going to happen with the mystery box?
What clues have you picked up on the mystery? Like, what would you do if you were the mystery box?
What would I do, bro? Honestly, man, I don't be making protocols like that, so I can't make a call like this right now. But I will tell you this, right? Like, I mean, it's a ton of money that you guys got in there. It's a ton of coins. And I know as the years go on, it's something that could honestly, like, it could go hand in hand with like the launch of something new. I kind of see the way that Richard, or the OA played Pulse X, and moving all those hex tokens over to to the sacrifice address, and just amplifying what they already had in that bag. And so a move like that in the future with another project, maybe something you guys release or something like that, I think that would be absolutely bonkers, because it adds to the capital, and also it adds to security. We talk a lot about how centralized isn't a bad thing, right? That the more that you hold, or the owners hold, personally, I think is a good thing, because you essentially have a little bit more control over the system, and it also allows you to kind of like do things that otherwise wouldn't be possible. Like, for example, holding a lot of assets and having those assets not sell off at all, right? Like, we know that the OA to a certain point isn't going to sell off any of those assets, which is going to hold price up. So should we even include them in supply, right? In circulating supply. So it's a lot of things like that, I mean, if the mystery box has a lot of maxi, it also has a lot of buying power for a sacrifice in the future, based on how much value it is, if a sacrifice were to hold or to take maxi tokens. So I mean, I don't know, there's a lot that plays into that, but I'm really excited for what that could be. I mean, I'm not going to give anything away, I don't know. But
see, what I think may be even more interesting than the mystery box is that, like, when Maxi started, the supply distribution was so even across the board. Like, I think the largest minter was only like 3 or 4 million Maxi, and it was just so evenly distributed.
No,
from
it was like
the
10
holders to the smallest. So, well, no, the person only got to 10 after buying.
Okay, yeah, it was. I think it was 5, and then they bought another 5.
Yeah. So, like, there have been a couple waves of like centralization in the Maxi supply, and then in the last month, between the Icosa launch, where part of that whole Watsa thing was Maxi accumulated in the Hedron deployer, and then now with this launch, there's kind of been this like consolidation of the Maxi, and almost in quantities that are like almost too large to sell. And so, for as far as like all the other people, like if you disregard the those coins, just because it's like, most users could sell their whole bag like nothing, but those two large holders really can't, and it's only becoming more rare with that 369 escrow and then the burn. And so, like, in the last couple of weeks, the like effectively saleable Maxi supply has gotten really scarce. And so that's been pretty interesting to see how just kind of like this consolidation has happened. And it was pretty, I think, kind of validating that like another coin was, through their launch mechanism, was included Maxi in that. And so there's a lot, and that's kind of the big question, is what does the Hedron deployer do with their Maxi? Do they dump the price and give everyone a great deal to kind of run back the premium? Do they mint a bunch of team? Do they use the Maxi to like try to inject value into their own ecosystem? Like, there's a lot that can happen, and it's pretty exciting to just see play out, and we'll see what happens over the next couple
definitely
weeks.
Breaking new ground here. I mean, this is brand new stuff to everybody, but it's cool to see the ideas being pushed around and what can possibly happen. I see we have a couple questions in the chat. If you guys want to go ahead and answer, they say, any ideas for people who got heavy into Maxi and what move they might want to make now? This one's from Swearworks.
So, obviously everything is totally your choice. It's impossible to predict what the best move is. You just got to look within and follow your gut. Team is like, one way to look at it is to look at the team dashboard and see what other people kind of in your same ballpark size have done. So we've seen a lot of, like the two largest Maxi minters, or largest team minters, have 2 million. They minted 2 million Maxi each. One of them holds on to another 2.5 million Maxi. The other one had gone all in. And so, some users are going all in on team. Other users are, holding off Maxi, minting, cutting. Like there's a lot of people just splitting between team and Maxi. That's also, a good solution. Truly your choice. Kind of the way to compare the two is that Maxi is basically like the largest possible earning hex stake you could hold. But it only earns for 15 years. Whereas team, the earnings are, uncapped because the Maxi earnings are capped by the T shares that it already has. The team earnings, they're capped by these pools. And the first year is probably going to be the smallest payout year in team, just because as these pools grow, potentially more pools happen in the future. And so the team kind of has these it's higher risk, but it also has this kind of like uncapped earning potential. Whereas Maxi earns at a really high rate for 15 years and then it's done. And so that's kind of the trade-off you have to consider. There's no, obviously this isn't financial advice at all. And I feel like I just didn't even give any, I just suggested you can either do all in, half, or none, I guess. But, either way, you're in a good spot. What would you say, Gopi?
I think if you minted Maxi, and you just understand like what's going on with the burn, and just looking at the price, like the best move is honestly to buy more Maxi. And of course I'm gonna say that, right? But truly, like, such a crazy, like, the people that minted Maxi in Hex, they're up to like 120% right now in Hex terms. But the price of Hex is down, so you can now get Maxi at a cheaper rate than the people did that minted, right? So everyone is winning right now, and honestly, the best play is to buy Maxi right now because it is at a discount, and to, I know a lot of people have probably used the Maxi that they use or that they minted, and that's a fair move as well. But I think for people that are wondering, do I want to give up my Maxi? The best move would be to buy more if you can. But again, it's like, it's so crazy, and I'm like, I love that we've done this, but we've created two assets that are like so much potential in the future that it is a very hard decision, and it was by design, right? Like with team, the more you own of that pool, the more you earn. And so if you're a team staker, you want that to be a hard decision for people. And so everyone's making that same decision, right? And it is hard by design, but really it's like you can't go wrong with either, So if you,
I
definitely agree, man. I definitely agree.
Yeah, because team is probably higher risk, higher reward potential. Because Maxi is basically just the hex price times the earnings, and team is potentially
it's amplified. It's whatever people think it is. It's a deflationary asset. I mean, there's so many mechanics that go into it, and ultimately it becomes more speculative, right? That stickiness is there, and people are gonna feel like, based on how big these pools can get, because today we're talking millions, but at some point it can be billions of hexes sitting in these pools, considering that they're perpetual and every year they're resetting. More and more people are going to get their hands on these assets, and they're just going to keep growing. So I got some team. I'm definitely a team member for sure, and I'm excited for that because I'm biased. You guys are getting a biased opinion here, anybody that's watching. But I will say this, right? Like, there's so many things that you can do. Ultimately, though, do whatever makes sense for you. Like, you guys got to get on these streams and you got to learn as much as you can, because no one's going to tell you what to do with your money ultimately, right? Like, if you need to sell, you're going to sell. If you're going to buy, you're going to buy. But just know that I think no matter what you're thinking, things are so cheap relative to where we're going. Totally. And so if you just buy and hold, man, follow the strategy, buy and hold, build a plan, and find a way to cash flow. I call the community cash flow amigos, because I think there's so many different industries in the world where you can cash flow, like in real estate, in stocks and whatnot. And I think crypto is one of those places where people should say, hey, I cash flow off of my crypto investments. I generate yield, and there's so many things out there now that are staking mechanisms that give you that opportunity. So build your portfolio, guys. It's really powerful what this stuff is doing for us.
Man, Yeah,
My bad. Let me just see what Hex
you're
says
good.
real
You're
quick,
good.
and then I got you. My opinion is each perpetual will be filled with 1 billion. So team is going to be the most desirable. All right, that's a pretty valid point. I agree with you there. I think team is definitely going to be
Let's
desirable. And
go.
then
Hexlove, pump the perpetuals, man. We need that 1 billion.
facts. And then Swearwork says, "Thanks for the insights. Thinking through it. Appreciate what you built, guys. Yeah, definitely." And you were saying, bro?
Man, like I love that name, Cashflow Amigos, dude. Like you're literally in the perfect environment right now for cash flow, and just with with Maxi, it really wasn't a cash, like you could utilize it by just scraping, as the premium pumps, maybe you lock in gains along the way. But man, that's what I've been so excited about, this kind of elite staking ladder we've made with the perpetuals and team, is that like the premium, what I try to tell people is like the premium is not guaranteed in the future. And we've been kind of spoiled, honestly, in the first couple of months with Maxi and just how it's exploded. But you shouldn't have expectations that that's going to happen in the future. And there could be like years of, a discount, and you wouldn't be able to lock in the premium you're able to lock in right now. But with these pools, you're able to lock in cash flow at select periods of time, and you have the power. Like Maximus is really a self-empowerment movement, and you have the power to determine when you want to get paid. And unlike a typical staking ladder where it's like you set it and then that's the one time, it's more looking at it like, what periods do I want to earn? So for base, it's like every year. With Trios, every 3. With Lucky, it's every 7. Desi, every 10. Which, with Desi, it's like, that period it's still more of just long-term stake, but it could continue to earn for your kids, right? As long as the internet's
Definitely.
up. But like, I think that's why people are loving these shorter stakes, because it's like every year I could get paid in Hex, and then I have now 2 ways to amplify that yield with team and diamond hands. Like it's if you're into cash flow, it's like
I think team definitely does stick to that name a little bit
Yeah.
more. Like it's like having multiple properties almost, right? Like that all
Exactly.
generate you X amount of yield, and what you do with the rewards is 100% up to you, right? But ultimately, that's what it's all about, right? Like you're earning on it because you're essentially a part of the team, and you're sharing the good word, right?
Yep.
So no, it's absolutely amazing. And while we're on that topic, I wanted to talk a little bit about how we can amplify those gains too. I know you guys just launched, or you're about to launch, excuse me, Diamond Hands, which is a really exciting, addition to the Maximus DAO system. And my question to you guys